Captain Jake Morrison was drinking his morning coffee when the alarm started screaming. He nearly dropped his cup as he rushed to the main control room of Aurora 7, the deep space monitoring station that orbited beyond Pluto. The station was humanity's farthest outpost, designed to watch for asteroids and space debris that might threaten Earth. "What's happening?" Jake asked his communications officer, Lieutenant Sarah Brooks. She was staring at her screens with wide eyes, her face pale with shock. "Sir, we're picking up something massive on the outer sensors. It just appeared out of nowhere," Sarah said, her voice shaking. "The computer says it's impossible, but the readings are clear." Jake looked at the main display screen. A blip showed something huge sitting at the very edge of the solar system. The object was perfectly still, as if it was waiting for something. It was bigger than any ship humans had ever built, bigger than most space stations. "How big is it?" Jake asked. "About 2 miles long, sir, and it's made of something we've never seen before. The scans show it's like crystal, but harder than diamond." Jake felt his heart racing. In all his years in space, he had never seen anything like this. Humanity had been alone in the universe for as long as they could remember. They had sent radio signals into space for over a century, hoping to find other intelligent life, but had never received an answer. "Try to contact them," Jake ordered. "Use all frequencies." Before Sarah could respond, every screen in the control room lit up with the same message. The words appeared in perfect English, written in simple block letters that filled the displays. "People of Earth. We are the Dominion Empire. We speak for the galaxy." Jake stared at the words, hardly believing what he was seeing. First contact with aliens, and they already knew English. His hands were shaking as he activated the station's recording systems. More words appeared on the screen. "Your species has reached faster than light travel capability. Ancient laws require all such species to join the Dominion Empire or face removal from existence." "Jesus," whispered Sergeant Tom Martinez, the station's security chief. He had been in the military for 20 years, but his voice sounded like a scared child. The message continued. "We grant your species 7 standard cycles to prepare for annexation. You will surrender all military assets and submit to Imperial governance. Your planet will become Sector 7 Gamma of the Outer Territories." Jake felt sick to his stomach. 7 cycles meant 7 Earth years. The aliens were giving humanity 7 years to give up their freedom or die. "This message serves as your only warning. We have analyzed your defensive capabilities. Resistance will result in the complete sterilization of your world. Prepare for peaceful transition to Imperial rule." New words appeared, showing coordinates in space. "Send your surrender delegation to these coordinates when you are ready to comply. Do not attempt to follow our vessel or send military ships to investigate." The final line made Jake's blood run cold. "The Dominion Empire has absorbed 847 intelligent species. None have successfully resisted. Compliance ensures survival." Then the screens went blank. For a long moment, nobody in the control room spoke. They all stared at the empty displays, trying to process what they had just witnessed. Humanity was no longer alone in the universe, but their new neighbors wanted to make them slaves. "Sir," Sarah said quietly, "the object is moving away. It's accelerating faster than anything we've ever seen. It'll be out of sensor range in 10 minutes. Jake nodded slowly. His mind was racing, trying to think of what to do next. This was the most important moment in human history, and he was just a space station captain with a crew of 12 people. "Record everything," he told his crew. "Every sensor reading, every piece of data. Copy it all and send it to Earth immediately. Use emergency protocols." "Should we try to follow them?" asked Lieutenant Brooks. "No," Jake said firmly. "They warned us not to. We don't know what weapons they have, and we can't risk losing the only evidence of this contact." As the alien ship disappeared from their sensors, Jake began composing the most important message he would ever send. Back on Earth, people were going about their normal lives, completely unaware that everything had just changed forever. The message would reach Earth's government in 6 hours. Within 12 hours, every world leader would know that humanity faced a choice between slavery and extinction. The aliens had studied Earth's defenses and found them lacking. They expected easy compliance from a primitive species that had barely learned to travel between planets. But the aliens had made one crucial mistake. They had studied human technology and military capabilities, but they had not studied the human spirit. They did not understand what happened when humans were cornered and fighting for survival. Jake finished his report and sent it toward Earth at maximum transmission speed. Then he ordered his crew to continue monitoring deep space, watching for any sign that the aliens might return early. As he sat in his captain's chair, staring out at the stars that no longer seemed empty and peaceful, Jake wondered if humanity would choose to fight or surrender. 7 years seemed like a long time, but he suspected it would pass very quickly. The galaxy had just declared war on Earth, and Earth didn't even know it yet. 7 months had passed since the alien warning reached Earth. The world had changed in ways nobody could have imagined. Every major city now had underground bunkers. Factories that once made cars and computers now produced weapons and armor. The night sky was filled with new satellites and space stations being built at record speed. Colonel Ryan Blake stood in the command center deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. The room was filled with screens showing military preparations around the globe. Thousands of people worked day and night, turning Earth into a fortress. But Ryan knew it might not be enough. The Chinese have finished their orbital weapon platform, reported Lieutenant Commander Alex Torres, a young officer with sharp eyes and a mind for strategy. The Russians launched their third battle station yesterday. Everyone is working together now. Ryan nodded. For the first time in human history, all the nations of Earth were united. The alien threat had ended every war and settled every dispute. Facing extinction had a way of making humans forget their differences. Dr. Lisa Park entered the command center carrying a thick folder of research papers. She was Earth's top expert on alien life, though until 7 months ago, she had only studied theories and possibilities. Now she was trying to understand an enemy that could destroy worlds. "I've been studying the alien message for weeks," Lisa said, setting her papers on the main table. "There's something strange about how they communicate. They seem to think in very straight lines, very predictable patterns." "What do you mean?" Ryan asked. "Look at their warning message. It was perfectly organized, step by step, like a computer program. They told us exactly what they planned to do and exactly how long we had to respond. Most humans wouldn't give away that much information to an enemy." Alex Torres looked up from his tactical displays. "I've been studying their historical records, too. The message mentioned they've absorbed 847 species. I've been trying to find patterns in how they fight. And," Ryan prompted, "every species they conquered followed the same basic development path. They discovered fire, invented the wheel, developed agriculture, built cities, created governments, then eventually reached space travel. It's like there's a standard way that intelligent life is supposed to evolve." Lisa sat down and opened her folder. "That's exactly what I was thinking. The aliens expect us to behave in predictable ways because every other species has been predictable, but humans are different." Ryan walked over to a large screen showing Earth's defensive preparations. "How are we different?" "We're chaotic," Lisa said with a slight smile. "Other species probably developed technology in logical steps. We humans jumped around, invented things in random order, fought wars that made no sense and somehow ended up in space anyway." Engineer Maya Rodriguez joined their conversation. She had been working for weeks on new weapon designs, trying to find ways to fight an enemy with superior technology. "Lisa's right. I've been looking at our own history. We invented gunpowder for fireworks, then used it for weapons. We figured out how to fly by watching birds, then used planes to drop bombs. We're weird." Dr. Sam Wright, Earth's leading physicist, entered the room carrying a laptop computer. His hair was messy and his clothes were wrinkled from working without sleep. "I think I've found something important. The alien scans of our planet missed huge sections of our defensive capabilities." "How is that possible?" Ryan asked. "They seem to know everything about us. They scanned for energy signatures and metal concentrations," Sam explained. "Standard military installations, power plants, weapons factories. But they didn't look for the kind of improvised weapons we're building." Maya's eyes lit up. The Asteroid mining equipment we've been modifying. They wouldn't recognize it as a weapon because it's not supposed to be one. Exactly, Sam said. We're taking civilian technology and turning it into military hardware. That's not how other species probably fought. They likely had separate military and civilian technologies that were easy to identify. Alex Torres pulled up new files on his computer. This changes everything. If the aliens can't predict our tactics, we might actually have a chance. What kind of chance? Ryan asked. Marine Sergeant Pete Collins has been training volunteer forces in guerrilla warfare, Alex explained. Instead of fighting big battles with tanks and aircraft, small groups of humans will hide and attack the aliens when they're not expecting. Lisa looked at the tactical displays. Other species probably fought like armies. Organized, predictable, following military rules. But humans have been fighting each other for thousands of years. We know every dirty trick in the book. Maya stood up and walked to a wall covered with weapon designs. We've been thinking about this all wrong. The aliens expect us to build bigger guns and stronger armor. Instead, we should build weapons they've never seen before. Like what? Ryan asked. Kinetic bombardment systems using modified mining equipment. Stealth satellites that look like space junk. Electromagnetic pulse weapons built into civilian electronics. If we can't match their technology, we'll confuse it, Sam nodded enthusiastically. And we'll use their own superiority against them. They're so advanced that they probably can't imagine fighting an enemy that uses primitive tactics with advanced technology. Ryan looked around the room at his team. These people were some of the smartest humans on Earth, and they all seemed to believe the same thing. Humanity might actually survive this war, not by being stronger than the aliens, but by being more unpredictable. How long do we have? Ryan asked. 6 years and 5 months, Alex replied immediately. Then we'd better get to work, Ryan said. It's time to show the galaxy what human creativity looks like when we're fighting for our lives. As the team dispersed to continue their preparations, Ryan remained in the command center, staring at the tactical displays. The aliens had conquered 847 species, but they had never fought humans before. They were about to learn why humanity had survived ice ages, plagues, wars, and every other disaster their own planet could throw at them. The countdown to invasion continued, but now Ryan felt something he hadn't experienced in months. Hope. 7 years had passed since the first warning. Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of Earth's new orbital command station, watching as 300 alien ships emerged from empty space. The Dominion Empire fleet was massive, spreading across the solar system like a metal cloud. Their ships gleamed like jewels against the black of space. The largest ship was the size of a small city. War Commander Vextal stood on its bridge studying the primitive planet below. According to his records, Earth should have surrendered by now. Most species begged for mercy long before the deadline arrived. But the humans had remained silent. Begin scanning for their surrender delegation, Vextal ordered his crew. His voice was calm and confident. He had conquered 47 worlds and never faced serious resistance. Sir, reported his tactical officer, we're receiving a transmission from the planet. The main display showed a human woman in a military uniform. She spoke clearly and calmly. This is Director Kate Sullivan of Earth Defense Command. We are prepared to discuss terms of surrender. Please move your fleet into the designated positions around our planet so we can begin negotiations. Vextal smiled, showing teeth like sharp crystals. Another species accepts reality. Move the fleet to surround their world. Prepare boarding parties for occupation duty. But down on Earth, Director Sullivan was not planning surrender. She stood in the underground command center, surrounded by screens showing the alien fleet moving exactly where they wanted them to go. Are they in position? She asked Colonel Blake. Almost, Blake replied, watching as the alien ships spread out in a perfect sphere around Earth. They're following standard Imperial formation, just like Alex predicted they would. Lieutenant, Commander Alex Torres sat at his tactical station, counting down the seconds. 30 seconds until they're all in the kill zone. The aliens have no idea what's waiting for them. Above Earth's atmosphere, hundreds of satellites drifted peacefully in orbit. They looked like normal communication and weather satellites, the kind that had been circling Earth for decades. But Maya Rodriguez and her engineering team had rebuilt every single one. Hidden inside their innocent shells were electromagnetic pulse weapons powerful enough to disable alien technology. All satellites are ready, Maya reported. The aliens scanned them months ago and classified them as harmless civilian equipment. Dr. Sam Wright monitored his computer displays. Their shields are designed to stop kinetic weapons and energy beams, but they've never encountered coordinated electromagnetic attacks from this many sources. Execute Protocol Chaos, Directory, Sullivan ordered. All around Earth, the disguised satellites came to life. Invisible electromagnetic pulses shot out in every direction, hitting the alien fleet like a hammer blow. The smaller ships immediately went dark, their systems overloaded, and shut down. Even the larger vessels flickered as their shields collapsed and their engines died. War Commander Vextal grabbed his command chair as his ship shuddered. Emergency lights flashed red throughout the bridge. "What happened?" he demanded. "Unknown." "Weapon type, sir," his tactical officer reported, his voice shaking. "2/3 of our escort vessels are disabled. Main fleet is operating at reduced capacity." For the first time in his military career, Vextal felt surprised. The primitive humans had hurt his fleet. "How is this possible?" "Sir, they used some kind of electromagnetic attack. Our sensors didn't identify the weapons because they were hidden inside civilian satellites." Vextal's surprise quickly turned to anger. "These creatures dare to resist the Empire? Begin bombardment of their major cities. Show them the price of defiance." But Colonel Blake had anticipated this response. "Phase 2 now," he ordered. Hidden bases on the Moon, Mars, and in the asteroid belt suddenly revealed themselves. What the aliens had thought were mining operations and research stations opened up like flowers, exposing missile launchers and railgun batteries. "Incoming fire from multiple locations," the alien tactical officer reported. "They have weapons throughout their solar system." The human missiles were not as advanced as alien technology, but there were thousands of them. They swarmed toward the Imperial fleet like angry wasps, overwhelming the aliens' defensive systems through sheer numbers. Captain Lisa Chen led a squadron of human fighters from a hidden base inside a hollowed-out asteroid. Her ships were small and fast, built for hit-and-run attacks rather than standing battles. "Remember your training," she told her pilots over the radio. "Don't try to fight them head-on. Use the debris fields as cover. Hit them and run." The human fighters darted between pieces of space junk and destroyed satellites, attacking the alien ships from angles their tactical computers hadn't predicted. Every time the aliens tried to target them, the humans disappeared behind chunks of metal or clouds of gas. War Commander Vextal watched his orderly battle plan fall apart. "These humans fight like animals," he growled. "No formation, no strategy, no honor." "Sir, they're not following any known tactical patterns," his tactical officer replied. "Our computers can't predict their movements." "Then we fight them manually. All ships, begin evasive maneuvers." But the aliens had another problem. Dr. Park's research had been correct. The Dominion Empire always fought the same way, using the same formations and tactics that had worked against every other species. Their commanders were experienced, but they had never faced an enemy that didn't follow the rules. Sergeant Pete Collins led a team of volunteers in small attack ships, diving between the massive alien vessels like sharks attacking whales. They didn't try to destroy the enemy ships completely. Instead, they targeted specific systems, engines, and weapon ports, crippling the aliens' ability to fight effectively. "Their hulls are tough, but their joints and connections are weak," Pete reported over the radio. "Hit the spots where different sections connect." The first day of battle ended with both sides bloodied and surprised. The humans had lost many fighters and taken damage to their hidden bases, but the mighty Imperial fleet was scattered and confused, many of their ships limping through space with damaged systems. War Commander Vextal stood on his damaged bridge, staring at the primitive planet that had just taught him a painful lesson. These humans were not like any enemy he had ever faced. They were unpredictable, chaotic, and seemingly impossible to defeat using standard tactics. "Prepare for extended siege operations," he ordered his remaining fleet. These creatures have more fight in them than expected. The war for Earth's freedom had begun, and both sides were about to learn what humans could do when they were fighting for their survival. 3 weeks had passed since the first battle, and the war had spread across the entire solar system. War Commander Vextal found himself fighting an enemy that seemed to change tactics every day. Just when his fleet adapted to one human strategy, the humans would try something completely different. Status report, Vextal demanded from his repaired command chair. His ship still bore scars from the first engagement, reminder of his underestimation of human cunning. Sir, we've lost another supply convoy, his tactical officer reported nervously. The humans attacked it using modified mining ships. They're not even using military vessels anymore. Vextal studied the tactical display. Red dots showed the locations of destroyed Imperial ships throughout the solar system. The pattern made no sense. The humans attacked supply lines, communication, relays, and isolated patrol ships, but they avoided major fleet engagements. They're not fighting like warriors, Vextal muttered. They're fighting like scavengers. What the war commander didn't understand was that humans had been perfecting this kind of warfare for thousands of years. On Earth, Colonel Blake coordinated the resistance from his underground command center. The aliens keep trying to force us into big battles, Blake explained to his staff. But we're not playing their game. We hit them where they're weak and disappear before they can respond. Sergeant Pete Collins had become Earth's most successful raider. His team used small, fast ships to attack alien vessels throughout the solar system. But Pete had discovered something even more effective than destroying enemy ships. We're going to board that supply vessel, Pete told his squad as they approached an alien cargo ship. But we're not here to blow it up. We're here to reprogram it. The human boarding teams had learned to turn the aliens' own technology against them. Dr. Sam Wright had figured out that all Imperial ships were connected by a computer network. When humans captured one ship, they could plant computer viruses that spread to other vessels. The aliens' greatest strength is also their weakness, Sam explained to Maya Rodriguez as they worked on new cyber weapons. Their ships are all connected so they can coordinate perfectly, but that means when we hack one ship, we can affect their entire fleet. Maya had been developing specialized programs designed to confuse alien computer systems. These viruses don't destroy their ships, she said. They make their computers think in circles. Navigation systems give wrong directions. Weapon systems target empty space. It's like giving them a headache that won't go away. The cyber attacks were driving the Imperial fleet to distraction. War Commander Vextal received constant reports of ships going in wrong directions, weapons firing at nothing, and communication systems broadcasting random noise. How are they doing this? Vextal demanded. Our computer security is the best in the galaxy. Sir, his chief technician replied, they're not attacking our security. They're confusing our logic systems. It's like they understand how our computers think and they're making them think wrong thoughts. Captain Jake Morrison had left his monitoring station to join the fight directly. He commanded a small fleet of modified civilian ships that had been converted into stealth raiders. His latest mission was the most dangerous yet. We're going to capture one of their destroyers, Jake told his crew. Not destroy it, capture it. We need to study their technology up close. The plan was insane by military standards, but it was exactly the kind of unpredictable move that humans excelled at. Jake's ships approached the alien destroyer using debris, fields as cover, then attached themselves to the hull like barnacles on a whale. Remember, we're not soldiers, Jake reminded his boarding team. We're mechanics and engineers. We don't need to fight them. We just need to figure out how their stuff works. The boarding operation succeeded beyond all expectations. The aliens were so shocked by the unconventional attack that they couldn't organize an effective defense. Jake's team captured the destroyer's computer core and escaped before the aliens could mount a counterattack. Dr. Lisa Park studied the captured alien technology with fascination. Their computers are incredibly advanced, but they think in very linear patterns. They can process enormous amounts of information, but they can't handle chaos or randomness. That's why our cyber attacks work so well, Sam Wright added. We're not trying to overpower their systems. We're feeding them random data that makes them confused. The breakthrough came when Maya discovered how to completely crash alien computer networks. If we can get close enough to their command ship, we can upload a virus that will spread throughout their entire fleet, she explained to Colonel Blake. How close? Blake asked. We need to physically connect to their main computer. Someone has to get inside their flagship. Alex Torres had been studying the alien fleet patterns for weeks. I think I know how to do it, he said. But it's going to require everything we've learned about fighting these aliens. The plan they developed was the most ambitious human operation of the war. It would require coordination between all human forces throughout the solar system, and it would put their best people in extreme danger. The aliens expect us to attack their ships, Alex explained. But what if we don't attack at all? What if we just walk right up to them? Captain Lisa Chen would lead a squadron of fighters in a diversionary attack to draw the alien fleet's attention. Meanwhile, Jake Morrison and Pete Collins would use captured alien technology to disguise a human ship as an Imperial vessel. If this works, we'll have access to their flagship, Blake said. If it doesn't work, we'll lose our best people. War Commander Vextal stood on his bridge, watching his fleet struggle against an enemy that refused to fight fairly. His tactical computers couldn't predict human behavior because humans didn't follow logical patterns. They were chaos given form, creativity turned into a weapon. Sir, his communications officer reported, we're receiving a surrender signal from one of our damaged escort vessels. They're requesting permission to dock for repairs. Vextal barely glanced at the display. Permission granted. Direct them to Docking Bay 7. He had no idea that he had just invited the enemy onto his own ship. Jake Morrison held his breath as his disguised ship docked with the alien flagship. His small crew wore stolen Imperial uniforms and carried forged identification codes. If the aliens discovered them, the war would be over and Earth would face total destruction. Remember, Jake whispered to his team, we're damaged Imperial crew requesting repairs. Stay calm and follow Pete's lead. Sergeant Pete Collins had studied captured alien behavior patterns for weeks. He walked with the stiff, formal posture that Imperial officers used. When the airlock opened, he spoke in the alien language they had learned from their prisoners. Greetings, Command Ship Eternal Conquest. Escort Vessel 779 requests emergency repairs to navigation systems. The alien dock supervisor barely looked at them. Hundreds of damaged ships had been cycling through the flagship for repairs. Proceed to Repair Bay 12. Submit damage reports to Central Processing. Jake's team moved through the massive ship's corridors, trying not to stare at the incredible alien technology surrounding them. The flagship was like a floating city, with thousands of crew members and millions of complex systems. There, Pete pointed to a maintenance access panel. Sam said the main computer core should be 3 levels down from here. Meanwhile, Captain Lisa Chen was leading her fighter squadron in the most dangerous mission of her life. Her job was to keep the aliens distracted while Jake's team completed their infiltration. All fighters, begin attack pattern Chaos 7, Lisa ordered over her radio. Make them think we're planning something big. Her fighters swarmed around the alien fleet, attacking from every direction, but never staying in one place long enough for the aliens to target them effectively. It was exactly the kind of unpredictable assault that confused alien tactical computers. War Commander Vextal watched the human attack with growing frustration. They're not trying to damage our ships seriously, he observed. What are they planning? Sir, it appears to be a probing attack, his tactical officer replied. They're testing our defensive responses. Maintain current positions. Do not pursue them beyond engagement range. Vextal had learned to be cautious when fighting humans. Every time he had tried to predict their strategy, they had surprised him with something unexpected. Deep inside the flagship, Jake's team reached the main computer core. The room was enormous, filled with crystalline structures that pulsed with blue light. Dr. Sam Wright had told them this was the brain of the entire Imperial fleet. Maya's virus is ready, Pete said, connecting a small device to one of the crystal formations. But we need to broadcast a message first. Lisa was very specific about the timing. Jake activated a portable transmitter. Dr. Park, are you ready? Back on Earth, Dr. Lisa Park stood in the Global Broadcast Center, preparing to deliver the most important speech in human history. Her message would go out on all frequencies, reaching every ship in the alien fleet and every inhabited world. In the Empire, "People of the galaxy," Lisa began, her voice calm but strong. "I am Dr. Lisa Park, speaking for the people of Earth. For too long, the Dominion Empire has ruled through fear and the belief that resistance is impossible. Throughout the Imperial fleet, alien crew members stopped their work to listen to the strange transmission. On conquered worlds across the galaxy, enslaved species heard human words translated into their own languages. The Empire told you that 847 species have submitted to their rule, and that none have successfully resisted. They were wrong. Today, humanity proves that freedom is possible. Today, we show the galaxy that the Empire can be defeated." War Commander. Vextel realized too late what was happening. "Cut that transmission immediately," he ordered. "I cannot, sir," his communications officer replied. "It's coming from inside our own ship." "Humanity chooses to fight for our freedom," Lisa continued. "Not because we are stronger than the Empire, but because we refuse to accept that slavery is inevitable. We call upon every enslaved species in the galaxy to remember what freedom feels like." Jake's team activated Maya's virus and began uploading it to the flagship's computer core. The program spread through the Imperial network like wildfire, carrying Lisa's message to every connected system in the galaxy. "The Empire's power comes from your belief that they cannot be defeated," Lisa declared. "But we humans have learned something important. Technology alone does not win wars. Creativity, courage, and the refusal to surrender are more powerful than any weapon." Reports began flooding into the flagship from across the galaxy. On dozens of worlds, enslaved species were rising up against their imperial governors. Alien. Crews on ships throughout the fleet were questioning their orders for the first time in centuries. "Sir," Vextal's tactical officer reported, "we're receiving rebellion reports from 17 sectors. Our garrison forces are requesting immediate reinforcement." The virus reached the flagship's weapon systems, causing them to shut down completely. Then it spread to the engines, navigation, and life support systems. The mighty Imperial dreadnought began drifting helplessly through space. Captain Lisa Chen chose that moment to lead her fighters in a final assault. But instead of attacking the weapons or engines, they targeted the ship's communication arrays and sensor systems. Within minutes, the flagship was blind and deaf. "Now," Jake ordered his team, "execute final phase." They didn't try to destroy the computer core. Instead, they reprogrammed it to broadcast a simple message throughout the Empire. "The flagship Eternal Conquest has surrendered to human forces. Imperial Command acknowledges the effectiveness of human resistance tactics." The message was a lie, but by the time Imperial Command could correct it, the damage was done. Throughout the galaxy, enslaved species saw the Empire's most powerful ship apparently surrendering to a primitive species that had been in space for less than a century. War Commander Vextal found himself trapped on his own bridge as human fighters swarmed around his disabled ship. For the first time in his military career, he was forced to consider surrender. "Open communications," he ordered quietly. Director Kate Sullivan appeared on his main screen, speaking from Earth's command center. "War Commander Vextal, I believe you want to discuss terms. Your species has proven resourceful," Vextal admitted. "But other powers in the galaxy will come. Humanity cannot fight the entire universe." "We don't need to fight the entire universe," Sullivan replied with a smile. "We just need to teach them that freedom is contagious." 6 months later, Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the captured Imperial flagship, now renamed Human Spirit. The war was over, but the galaxy would never be the same. Rebellion had spread to over 100 worlds, and the Dominion Empire was crumbling from within. Earth had become the symbol of resistance throughout the galaxy. Alien refugees arrived daily, seeking help from the species that had proven the impossible was possible. Colonel Blake established the first human diplomatic mission to liberated worlds, while Dr. Park worked with alien scientists to share knowledge, freely instead of hoarding it for conquest. As Jake looked out at the stars, he knew that humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. They had earned their place in the galaxy not through submission, but by showing that the human spirit could never be conquered.